Viewers, buckle up because the gloves just came off. After months of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds flooding the courts with smear campaigns, name-calling, and endless stunts, Justin Baldoni and his team finally hit back. And this time, they didn't just respond. They warned Blake Lively that her reckless attacks could land her in contempt of court. Yes, you heard that right, contempt. We're talking about the possibility that Lively's courtroom antics could blow up in her face and bring serious consequences. Here's the setup. Lively tried to sanction Baldwin's attorney, Brian Friedman, claiming he was running some kind of scheme to smear her reputation. But Wayfarer and Friedman fired back with a devastating filing, pointing out the obvious. Lively is the one poisoning the public narrative, not them. The filing lays it out crystal clear. Lively provided zero evidence that Friedman's comments to the press damaged the jury pool.
Why?
Because the trial isn't even happening until March 2026. There is no jury yet. Her entire motion is smoke and mirrors. And it gets juicier. Wayfarer reminded the judge that on August 8th, the court already warned everyone, no more disrespectful, defamatory language and filings. That means every time Blake or her lawyer slip in another cheap shot at Baldoni or Friedman, they're risking a contempt violation. Translation: the next time she runs her mouth in a legal document, Wayfarer can ask the judge to punish her. This isn't just a response, it's a shot across the bow. Baldwin's team is telling Lively loud and clear, keep pushing your lies and we'll take you down in court. If you thought Blake Lively was the victim here, think again. Court records prove she's been running a full-scale smear campaign against Justin Baldoni and anyone who dares to defend him, and now it's backfiring. Wayfarer's latest filing didn't just sweat down her weak sanctions request. It exposed how Lively has been orchestrating a relentless PR war. We're talking about leaking her own draft complaint to the New York Times before it was even filed, urging cast and crew to unfollow Baldoni on social media, and even banishing him and his family to the basement at the film's premiere. Yes, banished to the basement of his own movie. That's not just petty, that's calculated. And it gets worse. Lively's team subpoenaed over 100 content creators in a desperate attempt to prove Baldwin's lawyer was manipulating the press. The result, nothing. Not a single shred of evidence. The court filing bluntly states those subpoenas failed to yield any evidence.
Think about that.
Dragging creators, journalists, and influencers into this mess only to come up empty-handed. It's not strategy, it's harassment, but the hypocrisy is jaw-dropping. Lively accuses Baldwin's lawyer of making public comments. Yet, her own team has been blasting out attack after attack in Deadline, CNN, TMZ, and beyond. They've called Baldoni an abuser. They've painted Wayfarer as predators. They've used carefully crafted victim language to sway headlines, all while ignoring the fact that Baldoni has never been charged with a single crime. Wayfarer's lawyers hit the nail on the head. If Friedman's comments are sanctionable, so are Blake's. And unlike Friedman, her team's statements look a lot more like an attempt to taint a future jury pool than protect their client. Blake wanted a fight in the press, but now she's the one under the microscope. This is where things get shocking. Wayfarer's filing didn't just point out Blake Lively's hypocrisy. They laid out line by line the media attacks her own lawyers have been pumping into the headlines. Let's start with January. Lively spokesperson told Deadline that Baldwin's lawsuit was straight from the abuser playbook, a desperate attempt to silence a woman with concrete evidence of harassment. They even used the word darvo, a psychological tactic used by abusers to flip the script.
Think about that.
Her legal team flat-out branded Baldoni as a manipulative abuser to millions of readers. No charges, no HR complaints, just words meant to destroy his name. And it didn't stop there. Another statement claimed Baldwin's lawsuit was nothing but a shameless PR document. Then in February, her team accused him of running a secret scorched earth campaign with billionaire backers comparing him to predators who retaliate against women who speak out. Again, zero proof, just carefully crafted sound bites designed to dominate the headlines. By spring, the attacks grew even wilder. In May, her team mocked Baldoni by saying Wayfarer should sell tickets to his own deposition, turning a serious legal matter into a circus. They even dragged Taylor Swift's name into the case, trying to weaponize her fan base against Baldoni by framing him as an enemy of women. Wayfair is filing. Hits back hard. If Friedman making a few defensive comments is misconduct, then Lively's team is guilty 100 times over. They're not defending her claims. They're conducting a PR war to paint Baldoni as a sexual predator. And here's the bombshell. The court filing reminds everyone Baldonia has never been charged. Not once, not ever. So, why does Lively keep pushing this narrative? Because in the court of public opinion, she doesn't need evidence. She just needs headlines. While Blake Lively floods the media with buzzwords and victim language, Justin Baldwin's team is doing something she isn't fighting with facts inside the courtroom. In their latest filing, Wayfair's attorneys point out something the judge already knows. Rule 3.66 allows lawyers to speak to the press in high-profile cases, especially when their clients are under attack. Friedman's statements weren't smears. They were measured responses to Lively's nonstop media blitz. And courts across the country have ruled that comments made long before a trial don't taint a jury. Lively's sanctions request dead on arrival. But Baldwin's defense doesn't stop there. They flipped the script on Lively, highlighting her own behavior. Remember that she leaked her draft complaint to the New York Times before filing it. She alienated her co-star, froze Baldoni out of the film's marketing campaign, and even ordered cast and crew to unfollow him online. All of this long before Friedman made a single public statement. And here's the kicker. Lively claims Baldwin's lawyer poisoned the jury pool. Yet, she and Ryan Reynolds subpoenaed more than 100 creators, harassing journalists, influencers, and commentators, only to come up with nothing. Zero evidence, zero interference, just a legal fishing expedition that blew up in her face. Meanwhile, Baldwin's side is building a defense rooted in law and evidence. They reminded the court of an August 8th order banning disrespectful language and filings. That's a warning shot. If Lively keeps attacking with slander and theatrics, she risks being held in contempt. In other words, one more reckless move, and the judge could finally bring down real consequences. Lively may be trying to win in the tabloids, but Baldwin's team is preparing to win in the courtroom. And that's where the truth actually matters. Here's the detail Blake Lively doesn't want anyone talking about. For all her fiery press releases, courtroom theatrics, and dramatic headlines, her actual evidence of harassment is paper thin, and the records prove it. According to unsealed court documents, the only complaint Lively ever made to Sony was this. Justin Baldwin called a character's outfit sexy. That's it. No HR filings about unwanted kissing, no claims of lingering touches, no reports about comments on her body, nothing about porn addictions, bitten lips, or weight shaming. Just one offhand word, sexy. And she wasn't even the only one making complaints. Actress Jenny Slate reported 2 issues during filming, but neither involved sexual assault. One was about a character comment, the other was about apartment safety, which Baldwin's colleague actually offered to help resolve by paying for alternative housing, hardly the behavior of a predator. Yet, despite this paper trail, or lack of one, Lively has gone on a full-blown media tour painting Baldoni as a serial abuser. Her legal team statements hammer words like harassment, retaliation, and abuser playbook, drilling them into headlines over and over again. It's classic repetition. Say it often enough, and people start to believe it. Wayfair's attorneys didn't miss that pattern. They called out Lively's tactic for what it is, a weaponization of survivor language. Language designed to make anyone who doubts her feel complicit in silencing victims. It's manipulative. It's dangerous. And it undermines real survivors whose voices actually matter. So ask yourself this. If Blake Lively had real hard evidence against Justin Baldoni, why hasn't it surfaced? Why are her strongest claims built on PR spin instead of HR records? Because the truth is simple. Her story doesn't hold up under scrutiny. This case isn't just being fought in the courtroom. It's being fought in the headlines, in the tabloids, and on social media feeds around the world. And Blake Lively knows it. From day one, her strategy has been simple. Destroy Justin Baldwin's reputation before a single juror ever hears the case.
How?
By flooding the media with carefully crafted victim narratives. Every statement from her camp paints Baldoni as an abuser, a retaliator, or a predator hiding behind billionaire backers. She's even tried to drag Taylor Swift into the chaos, weaponizing Swift's fanbase by framing Baldwin and Wayfarer as enemies of women's rights. It's PR manipulation at the highest level. But here's the twist. Baldwin's team is done staying quiet. Wayfarer's attorneys have flipped the narrative by documenting Lively's own smear campaign, her subpoenas, her leaks, her press releases, and showing the court that she's the one tainting public opinion, not them. And the timing couldn't be worse for Lively. On August 8th, the judge explicitly warned both sides, no more disrespectful language, no more personal attacks. If she keeps filing motions packed with cheap shots and defamatory claims, Baldwin's team now has a green light to hit back with motions for contempt. That means fines, sanctions, or worse, real consequences that could damage her case permanently. This isn't just a legal counterpunch. It's a shift in momentum. Baldwin's lawyers are making it clear. If Lively wants a war of words, they'll fight back. But they'll fight back smarter, using the law, not clickbait headlines. For the first time since this scandal broke, Blake Lively isn't the one controlling the narrative. Justin Baldwin is. Here's the part no one in Hollywood wants to talk about. Ryan Reynolds isn't just a bystander in this mess. He's a key player behind the scenes, quietly fueling Blake Lively's war against Justin Baldoni. Wayfarer's legal team stopped short of naming him outright, but court watchers and insiders see the pattern. Every aggressive filing, every media blitz, every smear campaign conveniently lines up with Reynolds' notorious PR tactics. He's Hollywood's golden boy on the surface. Witty, charming, a family man, but in the shadows, he's been pulling strings to protect Lively and burn Baldwin's career to the ground. Think about it. Why else would Reynolds, who isn't even a party to the case, be tied to subpoenas, filings, and leaks? Why else would Lively's team push narratives that sound less like legal arguments and more like Deadpool-style PR stunts designed for maximum media attention? From pushing the abuser playbook line to inserting Taylor Swift into filings, the fingerprints are there. And here's the irony. Reynolds' involvement may backfire spectacularly. Wayfarer's filing already notes that Lively has been a divisive figure long before Friedman entered the scene. Freezing Baldoni out of the It Ends With Us campaign that didn't come from nowhere. Industry whispers suggest Reynolds played a role in those decisions, using his influence to isolate Baldoni and tilt the narrative. But here's the truth. Hollywood isn't buying it anymore. The deeper Reynolds inserts himself into this scandal, the clearer it becomes that this isn't about justice or harassment. It's about power, image, and control. And if Wayfarer's team decides to turn the spotlight on him directly, Ryan Reynolds could find himself dragged into the courtroom alongside his wife. This case isn't just about Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni anymore. It's about celebrity privilege and how Hollywood power players manipulate the legal system to protect their image. And Lively and Reynolds are Exhibit A. Think about the double standard here. Blake Lively has filed motion after motion packed with personal attacks, defamatory language, and flat-out lies. She's smeared Baldwin's reputation in the press, dragged his legal team's names through the mud, and even harassed over 100 content creators with subpoenas that produce nothing. Yet, time and again, the judge has let her slide. Meanwhile, when Wayfarer responds, suddenly, it's too aggressive. Suddenly, Baldwin's lawyer is accused of poisoning the jury pool. The imbalance is glaring. Why does Lively get away with behavior that would sink anyone else? Simple. Because she and Ryan Reynolds are using their celebrity status as a shield. They know the press will parrot their claims. They know fans will rally around them. They know the courtroom isn't the only battlefield public opinion is. But here's the problem for them. The court filing ripped that shield apart. Wayfarer documented every move Lively has made, every headline she's planted, every hypocritical attack. They reframed her victim narrative as exactly what it is, a PR campaign designed to distract from her lack of evidence. And for the first time, the privilege is cracking. Because here's the reality. Judges don't care about Instagram followers or red carpet photos. At the end of the day, all that matters is evidence. And right now, Blake Lively doesn't have it. This isn't just her scandal anymore. It's a warning to every celebrity who thinks fame can rewrite the rules of justice. So, where does this scandal go from here? The answer is simple. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are running out of room to hide. The August 8th court order changed everything. The judge told both sides, stop the personal attacks, stop the smear campaigns, and stick to the law. For Baldoni, that's easy. His filings are rooted in evidence and legal precedent. But for Lively, her entire strategy depends on mudslinging. And now, every time she lashes out, she risks violating a direct court order. That means sanctions. That means fines, and yes, even contempt of court. Contempt isn't just a slap on the wrist. It's the court saying, you've gone too far. It can derail motions, damage credibility, and even open the door for harsher penalties. For someone like Lively, whose reputation is already crumbling, that could be catastrophic. And then there is Ryan Reynolds. If his behind-the-scenes role keeps bleeding into filings, it's only a matter of time before Baldwin's lawyers start dragging him into the spotlight. That would mean depositions, subpoenas, and the one thing Reynolds fears most: his polished Hollywood image cracking under legal scrutiny. But here's the real danger for the Lively Reynolds machine. The narrative has flipped. For months, they've controlled the headlines, framing Baldoni as the villain. Now, the court record tells a different story. One of manipulation, hypocrisy, and desperation. The more they push, the clearer it becomes that this case isn't about harassment. It's about power plays and PR stunts. The walls are closing in. And if the judge finally enforces the rules, Blake Lively may learn the hard way that fame can't shield her from the consequences of her own actions. At this point, the mask has slipped. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds wanted the world to see them as Hollywood's golden couple. Polished, powerful, untouchable. But this scandal has exposed who they really are. Manipulators using their fame as a weapon, willing to destroy reputations and abuse the legal system to protect their image. The facts speak for themselves. Lively has no solid evidence of harassment. No HR reports, no criminal charges. Just one flimsy complaint about a character's outfit being called sexy. And yet, she's launched a smear campaign designed to brand Justin Baldoni as a predator in the court of public opinion. She subpoenaed over 100 creators, leaked to the press, and pumped out headline after headline. And Ryan Reynolds, he's been right there behind her, pulling strings, amplifying the attacks, and making sure Baldwin gets painted as the villain. But the tide is turning. Wayfarer's filings cut through the PR spin and laid the truth bare. If anyone is poisoning the jury pool, it's Lively and Reynolds. If anyone is guilty of bad faith, it's them. And if the judge enforces the rules, the next time Blake files one of her cheap shot motions, she could be facing contempt of court. This isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a cautionary tale. Fame can buy headlines, but it can't erase the truth. And the truth is simple. Justin Baldoni is fighting for his name with facts, while Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are fighting with lies. The question now is, will the court finally hold them accountable, or will they keep playing their dangerous game until it all collapses? What do you think? Should Blake and Ryan face contempt for their courtroom games? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates as this explosive scandal unfolds.